In the future, the Metro is the only way to survive.
Oh, God.
In Mother Russia, because nukes have fallen and there are strange alien creatures. And now we are on the 4th title, Metro 2039.
5th title.
Fifth.
Got the VR version that came out a couple years ago.
That's true. Yeah, so 5th
it.
title.
Not very good.
Metro 2039. We got a first look of Metro 2039. We're going to talk about it a little bit. It's just a cinematic trailer, but looks cool. We're going to talk about that a little bit.
Definitely looks cool.
Looks very cool. So let's freaking get into it. Coming out this winter, let's talk about it. So Metro, I thought that they were going to be done with the series when they finished with that Metro Exodus. I thought that was going to be the wrap. Clearly, we were wrong. So they made the VR game after Exodus 2, right?
Yeah. Okay. So just a couple of years ago.
We were wrong about that a while ago.
But it wasn't 4A. I actually kind of wanted them to go a different route other than Metro. But now that I know that they're going back into the Metro, they're going back into Moscow, right? I'm guessing.
Yeah, back into Moscow, and into the deep part of Russia.
It seems like the dark ones are back. They emphasize that it's going to be very hardcore. I mean, everybody kind of knew that. Everybody knows.
They said they were going to lean more into horror too, which was interesting. Not more into horror, but deeply cinematic horror.
Yeah,
is what they talked about.
That's what their Metro games are.
Yeah, but I think Exodus got away from that more than
you're right.
The other ones for sure.
So it is kind of back to form, and I'm happy about it. I've said this for a while. I think that 4A is kind of the premier first-person shooter developer right now. Maybe in terms of campaign or single-player first-person shooter. You still got id.
Yeah, id is just because of recency bias. I would say id is probably taken over, but
I just really like.
Yeah, they're great.
The Metro series.
Metro's at the very least, it's like probably the best single-player post-apocalyptic first-person shooter game, in my opinion. Yeah, like right now. That's still ongoing.
Well, it's a lot better than Fallout and Far Cry.
I mean, I like Fallout too, but I understand it's just different games. They're totally different games.
I know they are. Yeah. Fallout is an RPG.
Yeah. And I think the way that they tell their stories in these games are very interesting. And I think the kind of like paranormal aspect to them is very cool with the dark ones and whatnot. Having a role to play. I think they go through a lot of different, like, especially in the first games. In Metro and the Metro Last Light, it's a lot more like there's a lot more political intrigue going on through the Metro as well, and you kind of have to like live with it and deal with it because they're all connected, So
I actually like how they did Metro 2033 and Last Light when it comes to the ambiguity between the good guys and the bad guys. There is no real good guys and bad guys. As a matter of fact, it's really hard to tell. Who are the
both sides
guys.
Are trying to kill you.
And I really like 2033 a lot. It's one of my favorite first-person shooters ever. I think Last Light is a better game through and through, but I just remember when 2033 came out, it just blew me away.
Last Light's the more refined product.
Yeah,
I would say.
Here's a tip. Go play those games and go into like the civilization areas of those games, like the calm parts, and just listen.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The audio of people talking in other rooms and down hallways and even kind of really far away, you can hear arguments happening. There's a famous scene in 2033 where I think you hit Polis. It's like right when you get to Polis and you're at a bar and you can hear conversations at every single table. It's very impressive.
Yeah, it is. I mean,
really cool.
And the thing is, something that they talked about in this trailer for a little bit, I guess this reveal, if you will, it was a bigger complaint that I had for Exodus, but it also ran through 2033 and Last Light. You're going to have a voiceable protagonist, sounds like. Your protagonist is going to have voice lines and be able to talk, which is great because in Exodus, they're just talking at you the whole game and you can't speak, apparently.
Yeah,
I think that'll be good.
It's going to be funny. I don't know if they're going to have Russian language.
They have to.
They have to, right? I've played these games all in Russian. I have no idea how Artem sounds. I do. I played a little bit. I don't think the voice acting is great. But again,
he's not talking in any of the
except for the
journaling part, which is why it's so confusing.
So you're reading his thoughts.
You hired somebody to do this part. Why didn't he just stay for the parts where he could be talking in like the actual game? It was confusing. But
I don't know.
That was the thing that they did in all of them. So
maybe he's mute.
But the stranger's not. So We'll see
I
what
love how
happens.
everybody talks to him like
They're expecting a response.
yeah, and they kind of respond for him.
Yeah, it's really honestly, it kind of grates on my nerves a little bit sometimes. I'm like,
he's like, don't do that. Artem is good. Don't need to ask him that.
I'm like,
wait a minute, is Artem his own person?
I'm like, I just mowed down about 14 of these people. Like, I can
Just
go do
saved
this.
Everybody's life.
Yeah, all I've been doing is saving people's lives. So how about you leave me alone?
So what we're watching right now is. It seems like gameplay, but I don't think it is. There's no HUD, and usually, and when it's super smooth and cinematic looking, it's usually telltale that this is a proof of concept type of gameplay.
I think this is gameplay, but then the part where it jumps on you is where it cuts to a cutscene.
Okay.
Or cuts to a cutscene. The
Like
the
right
creature
here?
right here is your cutscene. Because they do that in other Metro games, and that part, literally leading up to this part, is all playable.
Now, is that a
Yeah.
what are they called?
I can't think of their name either, but I know what you're talking about. They look like
The rats.
yes. I think that's what they're supposed to be.
Yeah, he just got spikes now or something.
Yeah, they're changing. Like what Bill says in Left 4 Dead.
What
They're
does it say?
changing. Remember in the very opening cutscene? And he's like,
yeah, you're right.
yeah. And Francis says, Jesus, Bill, why don't you smear it all over yourself? And Bill goes, they're changing.
They're changing. And
Anyways.
he goes, Pill's here. Pill's here.
Bill's here. Yeah, Metro. I'm excited for this game. I am curious to see, because I'm wondering if this is maybe going to be a reboot for the franchise. Not a reboot, but a new trilogy, if you will, of some kind.
I kind of hope not.
Yeah, I'm wondering too, because it
I
did
want
feel like
these-
we had a very, very obvious beginning, middle, and end with 2033, Last Light, and Exodus. Like, you kind of end on a hopeful note in Exodus, spoilers, but to go back and kind of do it all over again. I guess the only thing that they didn't explore fully was the Dark One story. Have a wrapped up conclusion to that story, if that makes sense. They kind of touch on it a little bit in Last Light, depending on what you do, but it's not. It doesn't wrap up the human side of the Dark One story. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm trying not to overly spoil. And
I
then they totally go away from it in Exodus.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited for this game. It says it's coming out in winter. You don't believe that?
No, I actually do not think that this game is going to come close to its.
You think it's getting delayed?
Yeah, we'll see it. Maybe hopefully March next year.
I mean, honestly, there's no. I see. That's the thing. I think this is one of those games where you have to release it in winter because it only makes sense with the environment that you're literally playing in.
Well, GTA comes out
Moscow.
in November.
No, but I'm saying like it's different for GTA. GTA, it's like, you know, you can do whatever because there's like 14 different biomes you can kind of explore in that game.
No,
Metro for me is like a cold game.
Yeah,
Everything's cold.
Yeah,
So for me, it doesn't make any sense for them to release it in like May.
yeah. It's also a Cold War era story.
He's right about that, folks. No rebuttal.
I mean that when I mentioned GTA, I meant like the release date is November 20 something. So if they're going to come out in the winter,
Yeah.
then that winter is going to be March the following year.
Maybe it's late December, I guess, or something. But I don't know.
I don't buy it.
I would say, I mean, honestly, they could release it in January too. I mean, but that's not 2026. So they said winter 2026 in this trailer. I think it's at the end of that reveal trailer here. So we'll see. I hope they do because I want to play this game this year. That'd be great.
Yeah,
but
me too.
I kind of agree in the sense that we would have seen more gameplay if it was that close to being done. I mean, we're only
Unless they start
8
showing
months out of the year.
gameplay a lot from now until then.
They do still have like
don't think so.
Xbox has their big Xbox showcase in June, which is they talked about they're going to show a lot of like Fable and Halo and whatnot, and this could be added to that list with the like gameplay stuff. So not out of the realm of
But it's kind
possibilities.
of funny that this is coming to PS5 like at the same time, right?
Yeah, but they had. I don't know.
I saw the PlayStation.
Did they have it in
trailer.
there?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it's just I mean, Xbox might just have the marketing rights, which is common with video games. And if again, I do think Xbox is really trying to have like a three punch, winter, if you will. So one game for October, one game for November, one game for December. So Fable, Halo, and then Metro, seemingly, I guess too. That's what it feels like to me. And they're whatever order you want to shift that into, I think is kind of what they're aiming for. It is kind of funny. If I had I saw somebody say if I had a dime for every time Halo wanted to remake something that's just an asset flip, I'd have 2 dimes, which isn't very much, but it's weird that it's happened twice. And that's where we're at now with Halo, unfortunately. So,
do you think this game will live up to expectations?
So here's the thing: when Metro Exodus came out, I had high expectations because coming out, Last Light is still my favorite in the whole series. And I had really high expectations for it. It let me down a little bit when I first played it.
The first hour sucks.
Yeah, and it's just because it's so drastically different to like the other Metro games that you experience. So I'm kind of going in with softer expectations in this one and hoping that I get surprised. They are saying they're using like the 4A engine. They're not making the leap to Unreal or anything like that.
Unreal. That was probably the best news I heard from the entire presentation.
They're not having to move everything over to Unreal Engine and anything, so they're using the 4A engine, which is good. It'll be good for the game. So I'm kind of having lower expectations than I had when I was going into Exodus and just hoping I get surprised. Because it is showing me a lot of things that I'm intrigued about. They're going back into the Metro. It's a new main character and everything like that. So I don't know. I'm hopeful, but not thrilled, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Be fun.
Which one is your favorite? Metro?
I'm the Last Light guy. Yeah.
Okay. I think that's one I've replayed the most. Probably.
Yeah. Well, it's the easiest to just because it's so accessible still. Like it doesn't age too poorly, you know?
Yeah. Exodus is fine, but once you get to the open worlds the open world segments.
Yeah.
When it slows down and you kind of don't know what to do.
Well, that's the thing.
There's a lot of times where I've played Exodus after a kind of a hiatus. I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I've never had that feeling in Metro ever in the 2033 and Last Light.
And the thing about Exodus too is like it opens up so it feels like it should quicken, like the pace of everything in your game should quicken.
Yeah.
But it's still like you're moving at the pace of if you were in the Metro. So everything still feels really slow, even though you have this not massive, but this big open world to try to experience.
Yeah, and a train.
Yeah, and they kind of counteract in each other's interests, in my opinion. But there are a couple. I think I talked about this when because I played Metro, like finished Metro Exodus early last year for the first time, and it does have like one of the most impressive specific locations that I've ever played. That first swamp area that you get to is an incredible location.
And there's a giant fish in there.
Yeah, it's awesome. And there's like so much really good atmospheric storytelling through that area. But then from there, it kind of all goes down. Like not all downhill, but it's nothing else lives up to that.
There's an area where you have to sink into a base and they have like a tower. I thought that was
they're
really
all cannibals and stuff. Yeah, that one's good too. So yeah, I'm curious. And they're going since they're going back into the Metro series. I'm curious how they kind of wrap that into what they can add into the Metro. And I think the cinematic trailer as well kind of shows an interesting idea of what a story could be for this main character. He clearly went through some sort of like massacre or something like that, maybe at the controlling of the Dark Ones of some kind, and he's trying to like make amends for that or something.
Yeah.
Or figure out what happened. And I don't know. I'm intrigued, if you will, by this trailer.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited.
Yeah, Metro Exodus coming out in winter 2026. Maybe. We'll see what happens. We'll play this, and then we'll play Halo Campaign Evolved again for the 14th time. Shout out Xbox.